The Cleveland Browns have traded Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers for a conditional 4th-round pick, which could become a 5th-round pick. Now, this is interesting because we know wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers, Robby Anderson, did not want Baker Mayfield. And although he said some hurtful things, he said some things like no when the rumors were speculating that Mayfield could go to the Panthers, he has since walked back what he said. Instead, he has said that he does not have an issue with Baker Mayfield.
I said what I said, that's just my thinking out loud, my thought, just trying to be a good teammate to my quarterback, that's it. Just trying to defend the guy who is my quarterback in a sense, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
It seems like he was just trying to defend his quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold seemed pessimistic on busting with the boys when talking about his future with the Carolina Panthers just a few months ago.
Whatever happens, happens. At the end of the day, it's out of my control.
Yeah.
And I know that. I have enough security in myself to where I can be like, I know I'm a good quarterback. I know I can be a good quarterback in this league. Proved it. And I know there's a team, if, something happens, that would want me.
And now things have really gone out of Sam Darnold's control. Things have changed drastically in the matter of minutes, not only for the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns, but for the rest of this league. By the way, if you want more NFL content and stories, make sure to subscribe to this channel to keep getting stories like this. Sam Darnold will now face Baker Mayfield in a tough QB competition. And also added to the mix is Matt Corral, the 3rd-round pick of 2022 by the Carolina Panthers. So these 3 guys will be competing to be the starter, with Sam Darnold and Mayfield likely being the number 1 quarterback. What gets crazy about this is if Mayfield gets the starting job in week 1, he will go on and face his former team, the team that did him dirty, the team that had him play with an arm injury and then went ahead and traded for another QB. That team, the Cleveland Browns, he'll be facing week 1 at Carolina, in Carolina. So that'll be an intense matchup where Baker Mayfield can get some revenge against his former team. And even though Robby Anderson didn't seem happy about Baker Mayfield being his quarterback, that might be the guy he has to win with this year. And this makes the QB market tricky for the rest of the NFL. What's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo? Where can he go now that more roles are being filled? And also, Carolina had been keeping in talks with Cam Newton. The line of communication had been open, but now that line of communication is likely shut with adding Baker Mayfield. It doesn't seem like Cam Newton will have a chance to play in Carolina like he did last year after Sam Darnold was injured. And what's crazy about this is that Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick in 2018, and Sam Darnold was the number 3 overall selection in 2018. So these guys were competing to be the number 1 draft pick in 2018, and now they'll compete for the starting job of the Carolina Panthers. You couldn't have drawn it up any better than that. Baker Mayfield ended his career in Cleveland with a 29-30 record as the starter, leading the Cleveland Browns to their first playoff appearance since 2002 and first playoff victory since 1994 in the 2020 season. Baker Mayfield had 3,000 yards last year with 7 TDs and 13 interceptions. Andrew Berry of the Cleveland Browns, the GM, says we wish Baker Mayfield well as he continues his career. I'm not sure how well, they wish him. And here's the really sad part about what's happened to Baker Mayfield is the fact that people talk about his bad stats last year, but he played injured and he went and made that sacrifice to the Cleveland Browns. Hey, I'm going to play injured with a hurt arm because you know what? I trust that these guys have me in their future. Sure, I'll have some bad stats, but it's not going to sting me in the back because my future is with this particular team. And that didn't end up being the case. And there were some promises made. Think about what Baker Mayfield said in that podcast with Mike Period. He seemed very upset about how the Browns treated him. He thought there was no communication. He felt backstabbed. So you bet he's going to want to get that victory week 1. And also other QBs in the future after this Deshaun Watson saga ends, long into the future, 10 years, 15 years, people are always going to remember how the Cleveland Browns treated Baker Mayfield and did him kind of dirty. And a lot of people are going to be reluctant to go to that team because they know how they operate. A lot of agents are going to be less willing to send their players to that team. So when you make a decision like that to kind of burn a bridge like that, it really has a ripple effect throughout the NFL. when the Browns did sign Jacoby Brissett, that was kind of the writing on the wall for Baker Mayfield. And you can kind of tell, okay, they have to move Baker Mayfield or else you wouldn't spend that money to get a backup QB like Jacoby Brissett. Obviously, Baker Mayfield was not going to go the whole year backing up Deshaun Watson after everything that's happened. And so it's interesting now because the fact that they made this trade with Baker Mayfield, because look, at the end of the day, even though he's not showing up to minicamp, at the end of the day, he is under contract and they could force him to play for them. Really, they could. That is an option if Deshaun Watson was suspended. That idea was floated around. But now that they traded Baker Mayfield, that shows that the Browns are confident that Deshaun Watson is going to be able to play this year. I know there's some stories about, oh, he might have a suspension and whatnot, but really, I don't think the Browns would have made this trade if they would have thought he would have been suspended. I don't think they would have gone out and given him this much guaranteed money, Deshaun Watson that is, if they didn't think or have any reassurance from the league, Roger Goodell and company, that he would end up playing, that he'd end up playing for the Cleveland Browns. So on the rundown, we'll keep you up to date with the largest stories in the NFL. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already and subscribe for more NFL content. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.